Hey everybody, I've just completed a test of two different kinds of flash units. One is an old style Honeywell model 219, catalog number 219 Tiltamite, which accepts three different kinds of flash bulb, three different bases. I've fired several AG1 M2s and M3s, so 5 of each at different shutter speeds, with 1/30th as the beginning and then incrementing a half a stop up to 125th of a second. So that's one test. The other was against the baseline of the Vivitar 285HV on, I've got it rigged up for high voltage, but it doesn't matter if it's high voltage or not for the flash intensity. I did one test with a 21 or 24, depending on what part of the instruction manual you believe, 21-24 millimeter diffuser lens, and took that out and used a softbox attachment diffuser. The camera used is my Nikon D610 with a 15 millimeter f2.8 Zeiss Distagon. The camera, so that's to get the wide angle view in here, and the Vivitar was not set up, I mean, that is beyond its ability to cover 15 millimeters. But as a baseline, wanted to, worst case. And then f22 is used on the camera for the aperture. Shutter speed was 1/30th. 1/30th for the Vivitar only. It didn't matter what the shutter speed was as long as you're below max X sync. Then you had, for the bulb flash, I did 1/30th, 1/45th, 1/60th, 1/90th, and 1/125 for it, because the shutter speed does have a slight effect. Well, slight at first, but then it gets drastic effect on the bulbs, on the image illumination exposure. So f22 is used, and the room, this is the actual, it's a 13 by 20 room, and this is what it looked like when the flash was being fired. Complete darkness. Now there's a computer over there shining in the side, but this is a cell phone. This is just, so the flash unit, whether it's a Vivitar or the bulbs, had to work against total darkness. Okay, let's see what happened. Now I'm going to reset the here on the camera, replayed, and I'll post these up on the what do you call it, the internet with this video. There'll be a better view of them. I'll have some stills. So there is the Vivitar flash in this room with a 15 millimeter lens with a 21 or 24 millimeter diffusion lens. Then the next is without that lens, but with a zoom head of the Vivitar in the wide angle position, which is 35 millimeter coverage, with the softbox as sort of a bare bulb kind of configuration where it's just held up as if it was a bare bulb. So, wow, not pretty useless. And this is a good flash, 120 guide number at 50 millimeter lens on full frame, 35 millimeter frame coverage. First bulb, AG1 bulb at 1/30th. Wow, look at that. That's that little peanut bulb. And then 1/45th, 1/60th. See how it's dropping off? It's not linear. It drops off like a rock. 1/90th, done. 1/125, done. M2 at a 30th, out of 1/45th, at a 60th, at a 90th. See, boom, off the cliff, and then at a 1/125, it's finished. M3, 1/30th, 1/45th. I did two at 1/60th in mistake, so the next two should be the same. 60th, 60th, and 1/125, black. So there is the bulbs perform a little differently depending on which one you use. The package says, some say use 1/30th or slower, others say use a 60th or slower, but the point of the comparison was this. The bulbs have a place in even the modern day. If you need to have a combination of lightweight, where you can, let me project this thing. If you need a lightweight unit, fits in your hand, And it's easily adjusted for digital cameras, or I use these remote radio triggers, but either way you have to reverse the polarity of this thing by flipping the battery upside down and flipping the capacitor that's next to the battery under this cover upside down. Another video will be about that. All the flashes were made with this button here on the remote trigger, fired the bulb and tripped the shutter at the same time, whether it was the electronic flash or this. But you can see these bulbs have the capacity to give, on a bare bulb, none of the shots with this was with the reflector open. It was all, the reflector was always down like that, just used as a bare bulb. You saw the difference. So now, downside of a flash bulb, of course, is that it's you're using flash bulbs and they are disposable. They are, compared to electronic flash, they're not cheap. I mean, there's some money there. It's probably about $5 in bulbs there that were burned through. But if you need a pocketable light source, a package of AG1s, itty bitty, like a gum, package of gum, flat gum package, or like a tree of these, a dozen of these M2s or M3s, you can't beat this thing. The light produced is, well, bare bulb. You're looking at the evenness of illumination and the ability to get an exposure in a situation that you would not be able to get an exposure in. And I was shooting this camera at ISO 100. So ISO 100 f/22, total darkness. So you can see that again. You can ponder the results, what you think. But this is a very good alternative as a backup, or just a lightweight, pocketable. You're taking some shots that you just are in dark, like a dance floor or something, where there's a large area, and kick the ISO up a notch if you have to, and you'll get some shots that electronic flash just won't do. It just won't make it, even a good electronic flash. So hope you enjoyed this. There'll be another video, or I don't know how many, but there'll be at least one more that details how to convert this Honeywell 219 to digital camera use. Thanks.